Hot take. I'm a fan of victim shaming. I think we should do it more. I really don't think we do it enough. Let me explain. So if you're like pretty much anybody on this planet, you've experienced things that seem to be outside of your control. And for me, I've had a few of those experiences, one of them being TSW, another one being job loss. There are a lot of things that we can put on other people, but when we take account of what actually happened in those circumstances, we can look and say, what part of this, what aspect of this did I have control over that contributed to the thing that is so detrimental in our lives? For example, in TSW, I have a pharmaceutical chemistry background, right? And so when I saw my skin start to get worse with eczema, I should have thought, okay, what's the most scientific approach that I can have to this? Instead, I did what most people do, and I contacted my doctor. I jumped on high-potency topical steroids, and here I am, 3 years later. When it came to job loss, I had the same thought process. Man, I've been at this company for 5 years. I had poured a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a lot of my own will into this company, but to get cut off because of a technicality that was outside of my control, that seemed absolutely unfair to me. At the same time, they kept somebody who I helped to hire on myself 6 months prior. So that got me thinking now, because at the time I was like, oh, this is completely unfair. This is outside of my control. None of this is my fault. I'm the victim here. I did not take accountability for what I could have actually played, what role I could have played in that. I realized that I was probably not the best communicator. I was still technically on leave for my kid, but I was, using hours, and I was only working maybe 25 to 30 hours a week. Legally, it was within the terms of my contract, but at the same time, they had somebody I had hired on that was 40 hours. And they're working 40, 41 hours when they shouldn't have. But they were there every day working. And I was working too, but if they had to keep one person, maybe it's best in their interest to keep the person who is working more hours. Yes, I had been there for a long time. Yes, there are a lot of things that contributed to me staying there, but maybe they were taking a gamble. I look at a lot of situations that people experience, and I think to myself, man, I'm sorry you had to experience that. I'm sorry you had to go through that. A lot of it is unfair, a lot of it's outside of your control, but what aspect can you take about accountability for? A lot of it's unfortunate, but what aspect of it can you take accountability for and say to yourself, maybe I could have done something different to keep myself from getting as far. Maybe I could have prevented this person from responding this way. Maybe I could have kept myself safe. Maybe I could have brought myself out of that situation sooner if I had the knowledge. Now, in the Bible, it talks about, I'll paraphrase because I don't remember the verse off the top of my head, but once you have the awareness of something, then you have the responsibility to do better. So in my experience with TSW, I had the awareness of what could be happening. I just didn't take responsibility for it. That took a long time to get to, and that's what I mean by victim shaming. I mean, we take accountability for all things that we had control over. Maybe our situation could have been different, maybe not. But in most circumstances, we played a hand in it. Fortunately and unfortunately, some of the good things that seem like they were out of our control, and some of the bad things that seem like they were out of our control as well.